Hello guys and welcome to another episode of this team building journey as we get close to our tournament date, which is going to be this Saturday, and today is Thursday as of this recording. I'm just going to be preparing this team a little bit more, making little adjustments here and there, but like you guys saw in the previous episodes, I think this team is pretty solid on its own, and as long as we play well, we should be able to deal with almost anything out there in the meta. So today, let's just keep on practicing. And once again, like usual, if you guys have any suggestions, please leave a comment down below as to what changes I can make or maybe how I can improve my play. And at the same time, if you guys like the content, please do show your love by liking the video. But yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into the games. Now, if you guys want to see the breakdown of this team, please remember to watch the first episode where I go through the team building process as well as a breakdown of how this team operates. So if you guys are interested, make sure you guys check that out. But with our first opponents, our opponent King Vale is rocking the Ceruledge, Gastrodon, Hydreigon, Grimmsnarl, Iron Valiant, and Arcanine. A very interesting team with some Pokemon that we don't normally see. So I think here, King Gambit could be a good start just because it's super effective against quite a few of my opponent's Pokemon. And I think Fluttermane could do work here as well. I have a feeling that if they do start Hydreigon, then they're most probably going to Terra that. So I think let's just leave that at the back. Let's have Iron Bundle here. And I think, again, Fluttermane could do some work here. And last but not least, I think this is one of those games where I don't think Amoonguss or Pelipper would do a lot of work. And I have a feeling that my opponent is going to go for the Gastrodon, seeing Pelipper. So I feel pretty comfortable bringing our 4 attacking Pokemons here. So let's see how we do. Now, surely with Pelipper, I doubt my opponent is going to bring both of their fire types. So hopefully, that's not something they bring. Otherwise, we really have to conserve Great Tusk. So let's see what my opponent is going for here. Yeah, and as expected, we do see the Hydreigon. And yeah, that was the one thing that I was mainly scared of. So here, I think we can just immediately go into the Grimmsnarl. Now, he could go for a Heat Wave immediately. I have to be careful here. I think this should be okay. And now we probably just Icy Wind here. Yeah, I think this should be fine. Now, I doubt the Hydreigon is going to Terra here, so we should be able to... Let's see. Hopefully, the Hydreigon does not Terra Fire. Oh no, this might be bad for us. If this is a Terra Fire and they go Heat Wave, then King Gambit unfortunately will fall. Okay, so it's a Terra Steel. I don't think this is too bad. This is most probably going to be an Iron Head into the Iron Bundle, I'm assuming. Let's see. We are going to connect the Icy Wind. So I think we're just going to trade out here. Let's see. The good thing is that we still have the Iron Bundle at the back, okay? Ooh, Iron Bundle survived. Sorry, I meant the Great Tusk. Okay, I did not expect Iron Bundle to survive, but that is great there. That is huge for us, and I'm quite surprised that my opponent did not just use the Iron Head, knowing that it's going to be super effective. Right? Dark Pulse is definitely not a bad move, and it is normal effective, but because of that, now my opponent is definitely a lot more vulnerable here. So I think there is a good chance that my opponent is just going to protect with Gastrodon. So I think here I just want to Kowtow, Cleave, and Protect. Because I don't think my opponent should have anything that can one-shot King Gambit. So I am happy to Protect here. Seeing what my opponent does. And now Hydreigon's just going to use Flash Cannon. Okay. And this is not going to do much, which is fine. That's awesome. We get the Kowtow Cleave off. And we hit that critical hit. Man, we are just getting all the luck today. I don't know if it was lucky for Iron Bundle to live, but definitely getting that one hit KO is not supposed to happen. So I am very fortunate there. And we're just going to see the Muddy Water. So I think this is definitely our game to lose. We know that Gastrodon is not going to be able to switch out. So knowing that we have Great Tusk in the back, I think I'm feeling pretty good about this one. Now let's see what my opponent does. Let's see who their last Pokemon is. Now, is there any way that we can lose this? Iron Valiance. Now, to be quite frank, I'm not too familiar with Iron Valiant, so I'm not too sure what it can do. But I think here I do like King Gambit terrestrializing. Because, is there anything in the back that wants to terrestrialize? Not really. I think King Gambit is definitely going to be our Terra for this game. And we are just going to do the most obvious plays at this point. Let's see. Does my opponent have Protect on Gastrodon? I think that's going to be the big thing. I think either way we shouldn't be losing this one anyways. But I think one of my opponent's outs is to have Protect on Gastrodon. Moment of truth, no Protect, so this should kill. Ooh, man, Gastrodon is very tanky. Okay. But I think that should be fine. Considering that it is now under Sucker Punch range, I think we are good here. And, you know, the one thing that we did well was, you know, expecting my opponents to not bring either one of their fire types, right? And I think them not having their fire types here played really well for us because we were expecting the Gastrodon, and you know, we were expecting to see the Hydreigon and the Grimmsnarl as well. And I think our lead just made sure that there was nothing they can do. So now here I am very comfortable to just Sucker Punch, and yeah, my opponent's just going to forfeit there. So I think overall a clean game, which is something that we definitely need considering how our last episode went. And to not spoil it for you guys, if you guys haven't watched that one, make sure you guys do. That was some intense matches and we definitely got lucky on that one as well. So yeah, the Pokemon RNG has been blessing us. But I think that again just shows the power of what the threat of having Pelipper can do. As we climb the ranking, I think we are still going strong, so I'll see you guys soon in the second game. Alright, for the second game, Brian is going to be rocking the Roaring Moon, Sylveon, Iron Hands, Volcarona, Amoonguss, and Iron Bundle. Now, if I was my opponents, I would probably start a combination of Roaring Moon or Iron Bundle and the Volcarona. I think those would be the best place for my opponent. So I think here I want to start... Now I think here I want to start with King Gambits and Iron Bundle, I believe. So we can get some speed control. And then we'll have Pelipper in the back. And last but not least, I think Great Tusk can do some work here. So yeah, I like this 4. You can make an argument for Amoonguss as well. I think Amoonguss could do some work, but I think having access to Wide Guard and Tailwind as our supportive option is the play here. So I like the 4 that we have, and I think we have a good shot. But let's see, Brian taking out the Iron Bundle and the Roaring Moon. Okay, so not the lead that I was expecting, but I predict the Roaring Moon is just going to go for the Tailwind here probably to get some speed control. So I think, what do I want to do? I think we can just Kowtow Cleave and Icy Wind here to slow them down. Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have Tailwind pressure right now. Okay, they are just going to protect. Let's see what my opponent does. They're just going to Tailwind. Okay. So yeah, unfortunately we could have punished that a little bit better, but I don't feel too bad for this, assuming we don't miss the Icy Wind. Okay, we do hit that. Let's see how much damage this does. Still a nice amount of damage. I think I'm okay with that. And I think here, knowing that my opponent already protected, we should be able to go for a Sucker Punch here and protect. Now, question is, are they going to target down my Iron Bundle? I feel like Roaring Moon is not very threatening for my King Gambit. So yeah, I feel pretty confident with this. Okay, they are just going to withdraw, which is kind of unfortunate. And they bring in their Iron Hands. Okay. Let's see what my opponent does. Hopefully they target my Iron Bundle slots. Let's see. Throat Chop into my Iron Bundle. Okay. So I think we're fine. Right? I expect my opponent to target my Iron Bundle here. Now, do I want to make a switch here? Yeah, I think so. I don't want to eat a Drain Punch into that slot, so I think that's what I'll do. And here, hopefully we can get the knockout on the Roaring Moon. Let's see what my opponent does. Now, if I was my opponent, the Acrobatics is definitely going to go into the Iron Bundle slot. But let's see. Okay, he's just going to Throat Chop, which is completely fine for us. And that means we should get the kill on the Roaring Moon here. Okay, I am a little bit scared of that Roaring Moon for a second, but I think we dealt with it pretty well. Now my opponent's just going to Drain Punch into that slot, which is exactly what we predicted. Perfect. And yeah, I think it was definitely an unnecessary risk for us to, you know, keep King Gambit in there. I just don't think it was worth it. So I think this is definitely the right play. Now my opponent still has one turn of Tailwind left. So here, is it worth terrestrializing? No, I'd say I think we should definitely switch in Pelipper. I think my opponent is not going to Thunder into that slot, and I think here we can just protect. Let's prepare ourselves. There's no need to rush here. We already have the advantage, so we just gotta, you know, play it safe and stall out Tailwind. And I think having the Terra on Pelipper is the best idea. Let's see what my opponent does. Of course, it depends how well they read this, but again, I doubt that they are going to they're going to Thunder Punch into the Pelipper slot. So I think, yeah, that was definitely the right play. Now, I think if I was my opponent, I would definitely be scared of the Rain with Volcarona, and I think Volcarona is not going to do much, maybe other than Rage Powder here. So I think I'm happy to terrestrialize, focus the Iron Hands down, and if they decide to Rage Powder, then the Volcarona drops. Let's see what my opponent do here. Now, I do have to say, my biggest worry, just because of how tanky Iron Hands are, if we don't kill here, this could potentially be bad. But I feel pretty good about this one, so let's see. I'm assuming this is Terra Grass. Oh, Terra Steel. Okay, then now they are most probably going to live. Let's see here. Now we still land our Hydro Pump. Yeah, they are going to live this one. Now, hopefully, we get the burn. Or not the burn. They get the burn. But we get the confusion. That would be very lucky in our favor. Okay, that's not the case. But because we Terra, we also survived that one. So I think overall, that was a net positive for us. And yeah, again, we're just playing it safe. We're not taking any risks whatsoever. And I think we're just going to Hydro Pump here. I think I'd rather Hydro Pump both into the Iron Hand slot just because that is scarier. So let's see what my opponent does. Okay, they're just going to eat that up. So we are going to knock down the Iron Hands, which means our 2 Pokemons at the back will be safe in the King Gambit and the Great Tusk. And yeah, I think Pelipper again coming clutch here. And sometimes, you know, you don't always have to Terra your offensive Pokemon. Sometimes your supportive Pokemon that can do some great offense, as you see there, is the right Pokemon to Terra. And in this case, we definitely read our opponent's rights. So yeah, that turn went really, really well for us. Now our opponent is down to their last Pokemon, which is the Iron Bundle. And now let's see what we can do. I think the safest play right here is to just go for the damage, bring it to range of Sucker Punch, and then we just finish it off with Sucker Punch. So he can only target one of our Pokemon, and he's just going to forfeit there. So we got 2 forfeit, 2 pretty clean games, and I think this is the best that we've piloted this team so far. And, you know, if you guys are really interested in playing with this team and you guys are wondering how to pilot it, I think this is the best episode to watch for that. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the battle so far. I definitely am, and with how fast those 2 games have been, let's jump into our third one. All right, we got our third game and I'm having flashbacks. Now, Armarouge is a Pokemon that causes a lot of problems, and if you guys want to watch, you know, an episode of where this team really struggled, that's definitely the episode that you want to watch. Yeah. So this is definitely a hard one. Now, if I was my opponent, I would probably start with the Armarouge and DD. I think that's the most logical play. So let's see. I think here what we want to do is definitely go. We definitely want the Amoonguss in the back. I think I feel pretty comfortable with Pelipper and King Gambit start. Or actually, no. In the case that they start Iron Hands, I'd rather have Amoonguss King Gambit. And then we'll have Pelipper at the back to counter the weather. And last but not least, I think Great Tusk can do a lot of work here. So yeah, I don't feel super comfortable bringing our 2 fastest Pokemon, considering that, you know, they can easily just Trick Room and then we would be in a really big problem. So I like the mons that we brought. Plus, having Pelipper and access to Wide Guard means that we don't have to be as scared with Expanding Force and Eruption from Torkoal. So yeah, I definitely like the 4, and you know, because this team is naturally fast, we do struggle with Trick Room. Plus, the lack of Taunt just makes it a bit harder. So yeah, hopefully we can find a way to deal with that. But looks like that's not going to be their lead. Okay, so I think overall this is good for us. Now, my opponents, if I was my opponent, I would definitely switch the Flutter Mane. So I think here, now I can punish that. I think here if we protect and Spore the Flutter Mane slots, or Spore the Annihilate slots, I think that should be good for us. Let's see what my opponent does. Ooh, it looks like they are going for the attack. Interesting. They're just going to Final Gambit. Okay, and we got the Protect. He taunts. Interesting. Okay. Now what do we do here? I mean, the Final Gambit is most probably going to come again, right? Is there any Pokemon that we can sacrifice? No. Oh. I think here we might just want to deal damage to the Annihilate, so hopefully we don't die. And here I think we swap. I think that Amoonguss slot is pretty safe, so I feel pretty comfortable switching here. Now, I don't know if this is going to work out for us. Hopefully it does. Okay, so we do get the Sucker Punch off, and that's some good damage. Okay, now we definitely won't die from Final Gambit. Okay, so that did work out in the end. I think that was our best play. But I expect my opponent... Okay, yep. Trick Room should be fine. And they're most probably going to bring out their Torkoal here. Now, I think my opponent would predict that I switch out, but considering that I have Wide Guard, I'm not too afraid of the sun. Worst case scenario, you know, my opponent's Tailwind... Sorry, not Tailwind. Solar Beam. Okay, they don't even have it. I think this might be one of those games, once again, where we... Terra the Pelipper. Although I feel like if you're my opponent, you would target down the King Gambit slot. So I think I'd rather just protect here. But what if I read this wrong? This is where the struggle lies. I think here, King Gambit, as long as we can take down Fluttermane, would have done everything that we needed to do. So I think here I'd rather just go for the Sucker Punch. And we almost just killed it outright. Of course, it has the Focus Sash, but I think it should be fine. He's just going to Rock Slide. Okay, so we survive with both, and hopefully we don't flinch. Oh, fortunately he got the flinch, and he is going to just Dazzling Gleam. Okay. So Pelipper did not die there, but we definitely need Pelipper to stay alive. So I think here, I want to just... maybe protect. We don't want to kill the Fluttermane because we want to stall out as many turns as possible, and he definitely don't want to switch out his Fluttermane either because he doesn't want his Torkoal to take damage. So yeah, I think we definitely need to conserve Pelipper. As for the others, you know, that's not such a big deal. Also now, because we are under Trick Room, Amoonguss can put in a lot of threat here, so I think that is definitely the right play. Man, as we climb the ladder, you know, the games are just getting harder and harder. Now, they are switching, but to Armarouge, okay. Interesting. So maybe they don't have Torkoal after all. Let's see. Okay, they're just going to Drain Punch here. Let's see. Oh yeah, they definitely don't have Torkoal just because, you know, Final Gambit went off earlier. So I think here, it really depends on who's slower, but we do have, we can, Rage Powder. Right, my opponent's does not have a Spread Fire move, so I think we are okay. Now I expect them to Terra. Question is, who do they Terra and what do they Terra into? If I had to guess, it would be a Terra Dark. Ooh, Terra Grass? Okay, that's not the worst for us. And we just have to hope that we are slower. Let's see. Okay, okay. No. Unfortunately, they did hit the right one. Okay, so our King Gambit's done a lot, and I am really happy with what it's done. Now, I think Amoonguss... Ooh, Amoonguss survives. Okay. Now, I'm not sure if that's the best thing for us, but I guess we will see. Yeah, the thing with Armarouge that makes it really scary is that it can be fast and slow depending on how you build it. And on ladder, when it's a close team sheet, you really don't know what to expect. So I think here I can Hurricane into that slots and probably just Spore the Iron Hands. And now our opponent has to choose between killing Amoonguss or killing Pelipper, and either one I think I'm okay with. But let's see what he wants to do. Now question is, do we have enough damage for this Armarouge? Outside of Pelipper. I think that's going to be a tough one. I just have to hope that we are slower here, because if we can deal some nice chip damage, then I think we have a good shot. Okay. It all comes down to the speed here. Oh, unfortunately he goes first. Oh, but he targets down the Amoonguss. Now, I think that's a misplay from my opponents. Because now we can definitely bring that Armarouge into range. Yeah. And now with their Iron Hands asleep and we have the Great Tusk at the back, I think we're in a good position. Is this weak armor? It's not. And Trick Room is over, so yeah, I think we are in a really good spot here. And now we can just, again, Hurricane. Because we know that we're faster than both of my opponent's Pokemon. And we Headlong Rush. I don't see a way that my opponent can counter this. Let's see what my opponent does. I think, despite being a Pokemon down, I do feel like we are in the lead. But yeah, let's see what my opponent does here. Okay, we are going to get the Headlong Rush. Unfortunately, we'll just be out of range. Now, hopefully Iron Hands does not wake up here, because I think if they do get the early wake up, then that would be bad for us. But otherwise, I think we are in a good spot. Yeah, I think if my opponent targeted down the Pelipper there just now, we would have been in quite a big problem. Because there's no way that we could have killed Armarouge, but unfortunately, my opponents... Well, fortunately for us, I guess. Ooh, they did wake up, and they did use Rock Slide, okay. Yeah, fortunately for us, we are still able to use Pelipper to target down the Armarouge. And now with their Terra out of the way and Flutter Mane at the back, again, I think this is one of those games where we are going to see Great Tusk end the game with a Terra Fire. And here, again, we just have to keep it nice and simple. We are going to Terra and kill the Iron Hands here. And my opponents, you know, I would expect them to go for a Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam. Considering that they have Trick Room and Taunts, they're most probably only going to have Moonblast and Shadow Ball. That's my guess. So here I think, okay, it's just Dazzling Gleam, and that's not going to deal any damage whatsoever. And we are going to get the kill here on Iron Hands. And next turn, we're just going to use the, you know, our best move, which is Iron Head against this Flutter Mane. And I think we should close this game out. So yeah, looks like the last episode and this one, we are back to our winning ways. I am glad, assuming Shadow Ball doesn't kill us here. Oh. Okay, that dealt a lot more damage than I initially thought. Looking back, maybe it was a better idea to kill the Iron Hands there, or kill the Flutter Mane instead, because yeah, I wasn't sure what moves the Iron Hands would have, so I think I misplayed when it comes to targeting there. I definitely disrespected the Flutter Mane, and I just forgot how much damage it can deal. So yeah, I think that was definitely a blunder on my end, but I think other than that last turn, we played pretty well for the entire episode. So overall, I'm not too upset. That's definitely a learning lesson there. And I think I definitely got overconfident with the Great Tusk. So yeah, well done to my opponents to, recover despite losing Armarouge there. And overall, I think today has been a good day for us. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I think this is still the best episode to learn about this team a little bit more if you guys are interested in trying it out on the ladder yourselves. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Bye.